sky's the limit. The truth is on our side. There's no time for worry. Let's show the world our pride. Whether another comes up with a surprise, we all will discover where our fate will lie. On a blue wave, we rise to save the day. Only me, only you can let our hearts sail away on a blue wave.
And welcome to episode 49 of Trumpy Blows Bubba. I mean, TruBlu Politics Podcast.
Oh, I thought that did stand for Trump blows Bubba. The TB.
You know what? The wind is blowing so hard here. It's blowing harder than
Trump
Donnie,
blows Bubba.
Donnie blowing Bubba.
Yeah, it's a sign. TB thing. It's a sign
I think
for
so.
us.
I think so.
Anyway, yes. But we don't know who Bubba is. So
We don't know who Bubba is. Although somebody was saying that was it Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell had a horse named Bubba?
she does. Well, that's what I've heard. But there's also a guy named Bubba who apparently he's some rich dude that knows Trump and that has donated a lot of money to him or something. I mean, it could be any Bubba, okay?
It could be any Bubba, and we don't know.
That's right. We don't know. But,
We don't know.
you know, he knows.
Mm-hmm. He
Bubba
sure
knows.
does know. Sure does.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to believe it's true. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Well, no, honestly, it's probably true. The truth is, those guys, they're doing all kinds of stuff, okay? I mean, we don't know what he's really like. Donald Trump is just, degenerate. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with him blowing Bubba, but, I mean, it just fits with this kind of, I don't know, is it Babylon? Or where there's our Sodom and Gomorrah type thing where everybody's doing all kinds of crazy shit and they're just, judging. And the difference is, they're hiding it. They're over there doing all this crap and illegal because they were trafficking girls.
Yep.
And in the meanwhile, and also doing all these damn deals with these kind of global international politics because there were people from all over the world involved in this.
Yep. Well, do you want to kind of, let's talk about the Epstein stuff. And, you had brought some things up that a lot of people weren't talking about. And one of them was Epstein and
Bannon.
Bannon. Yeah.
Who at that time was the senior either strategist or advisor to Donald Trump. And remember, he was one of the campaign managers at the end of his campaign with, what's her face? It was married to, Kellyanne Conway, married to George Conway.
Yep.
So they were kind of co-chairs of his campaign. And Steve Bannon is like the worst of the worst. He's just a horrible human being, okay? There's nothing.
He's a guy that goes around the world and is helping to set up different right-wing campaigns.
Yes. He had a strategy, it turns out, with Epstein. Him and Epstein were working on a strategy or taking over the globe, globalist takeover, a new world order, you might say, of right-wing fascism.
Yeah, so in the article that you sent me from Byline Times.
That's a British publication.
Yeah, by Nafeez Hamed. So here, so it says messages.
Read the first paragraphs.
Yeah. So messages from March that year. This is 2019. March that year show Epstein passing Bannon detailed sensitive information about private tensions inside Trump's White House, including the president's frustrations with Vice President Mike Pence, his view that Mike Pompeo would be a better running mate, and specific internal dispute in which Trump asked John Kelly and Jared Kushner to try to remove one another. The files confirmed that Epstein had knowledge of only available to the president, very senior advisors, family insiders, or someone with direct access to them. None of this was public at the time, but each element emerged months later through media reporting indicating that Epstein had access to Trump's inner circle, a revelation which sits uneasily with Trump's claim to have cut him off years earlier.
Yeah. And there's a lot more.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean,
well, there's a part of it where he's talking to Epstein, and he's setting up. He wants to do this documentary to kind of clean up Epstein's image, because this is before
15 hours of video between Epstein and Bannon, by the way.
Yeah, and they were going to they make a deal to where they can film it at Epstein's island. I forget the name of it. Do you remember the name of it? So he has this island that he purchased.
Club Fed?
No, it's not. Oh. No, that's where Ghislaine Maxwell is.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, so it's supposed to be a prison, but it's more like a country club. But anyway, so they're going to film this on his island, Lolita Island, and kind of clean up his image. Of course, that island is probably bugged at this point, right? Everywhere. And by the way, that's part of the Epstein files right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're going to set it up to where they film it, and they're discussing this, and Epstein thinks it's a good idea. He'll do that, and he's like, "You can stay at my place anytime you want." I think he has a place in New Mexico, and they go back and forth, and anyway, and they're talking about international affairs, about this right-wing fascist takeover. Like, they're talking about Orban, and they're talking about what's that British guy's name? Farage. That guy. And they're just talking about different people, right-wingers all over the globe. Bolsonaro, that type of thing. So anyway, and then towards the end, he's talking about, and this is a great article. Maybe we could give a link to it.
Yeah, we can link to it in our Patreon and on the social medias.
Right, and it's fantastic. But anyway, so they're talking about this documentary, and towards the end, and then Bannon is texting him and saying, "Hey, what, let's set this up or whatever." And all of a sudden, and Epstein's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to be here. I'm going to this place for vacation, and I'll be back." So then the last thing he says is Bannon's talking to him about it. And all of a sudden, Epstein says, "Oh, everything's off," and then everything's and then there's no more texts. So he gets arrested. They were talking up to the minute he was arrested.
Yeah. So here, I think I found the documentary planning intensified in late June and early July 2019, with Epstein arranging meetings alongside Bannon and confirming access to participants. In messages exchanged shortly before Epstein's arrest, the two men discussed filming with the geneticist James Watson, co-discoverer of the structure of DNA. We are scheduled to go to, and so this is on July 6th, 2019, Epstein told Bannon, "We are scheduled to go to his house in Cold Spring Harbor. I will then go to the airport and island for rest of week." Bannon immediately raised the possibility of shooting the project on Epstein's island. At 3:59, he asked, "If we can arrange it, can we film on the island?" Epstein agreed without hesitation, yes. Bannon replied within seconds, "Perfect." The messages show directly, in a level of detail not previously reported, that Epstein and Bannon were planning to film on Little St. James, a location central to the allegations of sexual exploitation that had surrounded Epstein for more than a decade. Later that morning, Bannon attempted to confirm filming arrangements for the following day. He asked, "Can we do late morning, say 11 a.m.?" July 6, 2019. Minutes later, Epstein abruptly replied, "All canceled." Bannon responded, "You're not coming in?" There are no further messages in the thread. At almost the exact time these final exchanges were sent, Epstein was taken into federal custody at Teterboro Airport, New Jersey, marking the end of his freedom and the collapse of the project he and Bannon had been preparing.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And okay, what did he commit suicide? I mean, die somehow, mysteriously. I think it was in the end of July.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I don't think he was in custody.
No, he was in custody.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't think it was very long that he was in custody, is what I'm saying.
It was just a few weeks later. He wasn't in custody very long. So he never got a trial. I mean, he was just being held for trial.
Yeah.
And who was in control of that prison?
He died. Okay, so August 10th.
Mm-hmm. Just
at Metropolitan Correctional Center, New York.
Yeah. So it was just a few weeks later.
Yeah.
A month later. But which is my theory is that he was arrested to keep him quiet so that Donald Trump would have access to him so that he could silence him forever. Mm-hmm. When we think about the fact that the Epstein prison videotape was edited, we know that.
Yeah,
it's a fact.
Yep. So it was BAR. So it's the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
It's the federal in charge of that, and we know he has some pull in these federal prisons because look at Ghislaine Maxwell and the treatment she's getting. She's been convicted of a sex crime. Trafficking, child trafficking. Yep. She's not supposed to be eligible to go to one of these minimum security prisons, these club feds. And she's over there. She's got concierge service. Are you kidding me? She's got a puppy. Yep. She loves it there. That's what she talked about, how great they're treating her.
Yeah. Well, and now, did you hear this? I don't know if you heard this, but also just an FYI, Bannon says that he will release the series next year.
Yeah, I don't think he finished the documentary. You know, he's so.
But he's got 15 hours of video.
Well, that'll be interesting. But the truth is, and another thing that I've been thinking about as far as the files go, I mean, and even I was like, okay, he's agreeing to release these files a little too quickly in the Senate and the House and every Republican voting for it except for Clay Higgins. Mm-hmm. It just seemed kind of like suspicious to me. So what are they going to do? What is up their sleeves? But the truth is, if they were going to do anything to those files, they would have done it already. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't have acted. He has been panicking about this. It's been an all-out effort to stop these Epstein files from being released.
Right. And then, of course, the Democrats are also talking about how they are going to continue to get more material, more evidence from the estate.
But it's really important that they get these files because these are FBI records. And the reason why I'm pretty sure the victims want this so badly is because they cannot themselves expose these powerful men. They talk about they feel like they'd have been murdered already if they'd have exposed them. So the only thing that's going to expose these guys that did this to them is the release of the Epstein files.
Yep.
Because we've seen the estate emails, they lead us down that direction. They tell us, they give us kind of an idea of who was involved and who was at the center of it. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his pals, and a lot of these other people would call up Jeffrey Epstein for which is weird advice. Mm-hmm. But anyway, So, but we need the FBI files, the videos, the pictures, and all the other things that are included in that to be released for these girls to get closure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have, the quote for you. We're gonna steal from
this.
Stephanie Miller. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Anita, ready?
I'm good at this. I'm really good at this. Okay. Just letting you know.
I'll be the judge of that.
Warning you. Okay.
Okay. So who said, now you can understand why Trump wakes up in the middle of the night sweating when he hears you and I are friends?
That is Santa Claus.
No. Santa
no.
wouldn't. Santa wouldn't say that.
Oh, well, I guess
It's
I'm
actually
a little
Jeffrey
off.
Epstein speaking to Bannon.
Okay, give me another chance.
Oh,
I'll do better.
okay.
I was thinking about Santa Claus because Christmas is so
Okay,
close.
okay, I have one for you.
Okay.
Who said, I am calling on the FCC chairman to cancel Fox? They used to be the gold standard of lying. Now they're blatantly honest. What a disaster. Trump won and got 1,500% of the votes, but Fox hates him. So unfair. They pretend to be fake news, but they are real. Fix it, GCN. Oh, shoot,
Okay, no, I know this one.
I just gave
Okay,
it away.
it's Miss Piggy.
No.
No?
Oh. Well, it's actually comes from Governor Newsom press office parody.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's
at Awesome Newsom.
Awesome Newsom. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. Fox News is telling the truth one time, and yeah, that's not fair. They shouldn't be doing that. It's kind of screws, with our heads. We're like, what?
Mhm.
They're supposed to be, because they do always lie
Yep.
about everything, but they can't lie about the polls. They actually have a very good polling uh, group or pollster. It's the only thing you can rely on with them. And if you want to talk about that poll that he's talking about, where Donald Trump is at 39% and 60% disapproval, and that's a Fox News poll. There's quite a few other polls that have come out
Yeah.
recently. He's in the 30s, and all of them disapproval in the 60s. Okay, I just wanted to get that in while we're talking about that Gavin Newsom post. But back to Epstein, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Let's go back. And I just wanted to say too, I know that you were attempting to read the book. I listened to Virginia Giuffre's book, Nobody's Girl. And it was a hard listen, I have to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from everybody.
Yeah,
And
but it is really essential. And one of the things too that I think that, it's so important to understand about this is the far reach of it and just the influential men who were involved in the operations, the sex trafficking, and who actually had young girls trafficked to them. And one of them was actually and Virginia Giuffre speaks about this in her book, and she refers to this person as the prime minister,
it's
and
a move Barack.
she
Yeah.
describes her encounter with him as the most brutal rape that she had ever
Mm-mm.
had perpetrated against her. And of course, in court filings now, we learned that it's Ehud Barak, who is the former prime minister of Israel.
By the way, he's the Secretary of Defense, the Minister of Defense right now. So
Yeah.
he's involved in all this crap going on in Gaza and stuff
Right.
like that.
And
with
just,
Trump.
so have you been kind of following, like the discussions about Epstein's ties to Israel
Yeah.
and Russia? And I don't know if you
Well,
want to.
I know some. I mean, I know some of it. It's very complicated and very tangled. I would suggest, going through these, maybe not going through the emails because there's so many of them, but there
Right.
are people that are kind of doing that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of the person that I don't know her name, Elizabeth something. God, I'll have to look that up and then we can put the link on there. But she talks about these international ties. I mean, they were basically hopping around the globe trying to influence. And we know that Steve Bannon was doing this. He was doing this for a long time. He was going to, what was it, Germany? They talk about the Japanese prime minister, the one that got assassinated. Oh my God, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Rabin?
No, Japan.
Oh, Japanese.
The right wing guy.
Shinzo Abe.
Shinzo Abe, yes, him. They talk about Orban a lot. But it wasn't just Israel. A lot of people say, well, he was Israeli intelligence. I'm not so sure that's true, but he was making deals. He was selling Israeli spying equipment. And so they talk about Shinzo Abe, they talk about Nigel Farage, and how they were going to try to win all these elections. It's kind of like what Elon Musk is doing now too. And so there was some sort of strategy. I mean, these guys are all a bunch of clowns. but
Mm-hmm.
there was somewhat of they had something in mind. They wanted to take over the world with this
Mm-hmm.
right-wing fascism, right? And
Yep.
he wanted to make MAGA global. That's how we put it.
Mm-hmm.
So all the times that we hear this accusation of the globalists, right?
Yeah.
The globalists, they voted for that. That's
They're
what they
the
voted.
Epstein
Epstein
elite.
elite. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And one of them was Trump. He surrounds himself with people that were involved with Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
People like, Alex Acosta was his first labor secretary. Even what's her name from his attorney general, or Bill
Yeah.
Barr. Bill Barr's
Yeah.
father gave
Yep.
Epstein a teaching gig.
Yeah. Well, and I just looked up, suspicious deaths associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
modeling
Do you want to
industry.
hear? Okay. So here. Okay. So Jeffrey Epstein. So key individuals whose deaths have drawn scrutiny include Jeffrey Epstein, Virginia Giuffre, who, and this is according to her brother,
Right.
committed suicide. And I know that in the book they speak about two attempts. She did have two attempts
Yeah.
that she talked about. And then Jean-Luc Brunel.
Right. And he ran a modeling agency also that was trafficking
Yep.
girls.
Yep. Yeah. He was French modeling agent. What was it? Was it Leo Brunel? No.
But there was John
Yeah.
Casablancas who ran Elite modeling
Yep.
agency.
Yep. Okay. So the Mark Middleton, a former advisor to President Bill Clinton, who had alleged ties to Epstein, was found dead in May 2022 in Arkansas from hanging in a shotgun wound.
Wow.
His death was also ruled a suicide. But really, hanging and gunshot wound?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Okay, so here, Thomas Bowers, a former head of Deutsche Bank's wealth management division that handled Epstein's accounts, was found hanged in his California home in November 2019. His death was ruled a suicide.
Wow.
Okay,
A lot of
wait.
hanging.
Yep. So Efrain Stone Reyes, Epstein's cellmate, who was transferred out just a day before Epstein's death and later spoke with federal investigators, died of COVID. Okay, well, that's something different. That's not really suspicious, is it?
No, I don't know why they put that in there.
Yeah. Let's see. Stephen Bing, a Hollywood producer who had been interviewed by the FBI regarding Epstein, died by suicide in June 2020 by jumping
Did he hang
from
himself?
his 20.
Oh.
No, he jumped from his 27th floor apartment.
Hmm.
Where else do people get clumsy and fall out windows?
I don't know. Russia?
Lee.
Go ahead.
Wait, okay, there's just two more. Lee Sky Patrick, an Epstein victim who was among the first to cooperate with police, died in 2017 of an accidental heroin overdose. That's sad.
Was that one of the models? Because I remember that one. There was one that worked for Casablancas. There was a lot of girls that were dying.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, let's see.
It was suspicious too.
Yep. And then Joe Riccari, the detective who led the initial Palm Beach police investigation into Epstein in the mid-2000s, died unexpectedly in 2018 at age 50 from a brief illness. Sleep apnea complications? Or was it something more sinister?
Well, I don't know. Sleep apnea. Was he fat? I mean, sometimes people die at 50.
People get clumsy and stop breathing.
They do get clumsy. They fall on bags of vipers and
fall on knives 50 times.
Yeah. They stab themselves in the back 50 times. Yeah, but no, the ties with Russia. I mean, in Russia, that's what happens, and this is very similar. These kind of deaths.
They're very kind of mysterious. But too, we were talking about Ehud Barak. So apparently Epstein had scheduled introductions between Ehud Barak and Peter Thiel.
Oh, there's another one that was involved in it. Peter Thiel, all these guys are globalists. Okay, when we talk about globalists, this is when they talk about globalists, they're talking about this kind of nefarious global conspiracy to take over the world, And basically they're talking about Jews, okay? This anti-Semitism.
Right,
Well,
that's what that is.
And with
Mm-hmm.
Epstein being Jewish, and he's very much a Zionist. He's very close to Israel and Israel intelligence. He's done them. He's done things with them. There, if you read the estate emails, you'll see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But he did a lot of like introducing. This is what these guys were doing. He had leverage over them, and he would use this leverage and these connections
Mm-hmm.
to make these really nefarious deals with. I mean, I'm talking about international type of stuff. Like with there was it oh God, I wish I remembered the country. I suggest
Mogadishu.
yeah, might have been Mogadishu. I don't remember. There were some countries in Africa, okay? Places where Russia was at that time. And Israel was also involved in some of this stuff. And we're helping right-wing dictators spy on their people. Is basically what they were doing. They were selling Israeli spyware. And it's just shocking. A lot of this stuff, that kind of stuff to me is even more shocking.
Right.
And so there's a lot more involved, and there's a lot of reasons why they're so afraid of these files being released. Well, Donald Trump is, because it might expose a lot of these kind of nefarious deals he was making.
Yes, absolutely. And what do you say to people that say, oh, like Speaker Johnson, who is talking about, oh, we can't, list all of the names because there were people that had associations with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh my God.
But, didn't.
They didn't do anything.
It's to laugh. It's to laugh. And my God, what a pantsing that MFer, that motherfucker got.
Absolutely. But what he says is he doesn't want to make more victims. What he's talking about is innocent people that were just hanging out with Epstein, but they weren't doing anything. I mean, come on.
We don't want to make more victims. It's like, how dare you? How dare he? And when
Donald
we
Trump
had
didn't do
those
anything.
women, those brave women that have come out and actually stood up, shown their faces, to talk about this.
Well, he's protecting, once again, they're protecting rich, powerful men.
The Epstein elite.
That's what the guardians of pedophiles mean.
The Epstein class.
Yep, that's who they're protecting right now. And nobody should be for this. Everybody should be against this.
Yep.
That's what they're protecting. If you read those emails, that's what you see. These guys call Epstein, Larry Summers. There's Noam Chomsky, which is kind of surprising, but he's in there, and they're talking about how he wrote a letter of recommendation for Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It is.
And Epstein used to let him use his apartment in Paris. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah. And it is so indicative of the culture and the cultural conditioning and how, if you're a rich white dude, okay, there's, you've got that code, right? And it's, there's this code of secrecy and, where we're going to go ahead and conduct ourselves in the most disgusting and vile ways. And we're going to,
this is code of invincibility. Yeah. Where they think they can pretty much get away with anything. And they do, for the most part.
And that is something that, and you think like, okay, what is it that it's like the fear of getting caught or found out is not enough to overtake the desire to conduct yourself in that way and see how much you can get away with. It's like that adrenaline rush that they get from doing something that they know is so abhorrent.
I don't think they think like that. I don't think they think about ever getting caught. Well, I think they think that I take what I want when I want it. That's the attitude they have. Right. Because that's the way it's been for them their whole lives. And, Epstein, he was doing this for how many decades? A couple, 2, 3 decades. and nothing was happening to him. And the reason why he got arrested, I'm pretty sure. I'm right, but I don't know. The only reason why he stopped getting away with it was because Donald Trump had him arrested to silence him so he wouldn't spill the beans.
Wait, was it something like this? Now you can understand why Trump wakes up in the middle of the night sweating when he hears you and I are friends.
Yeah. I think that might be a clue.
Yeah.
About what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
He had to silence him.
Look what happened to him when he gets caught. When he gets caught in 2006, 2007, 2000, I don't know, 2008. It was in the mid 2000s. He gets caught, and what does he get? He gets, because it's Alex Acosta, right wing buddy. He has connections with all these guys, and also I always forget her name. Our Attorney General. What's that bimbo's name? What's that?
Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi. She was a district attorney where he in Palm Beach, Palm Springs, and so.
He was the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida.
Exactly, at that time. So what is he? He gives him a weekend jail. And so Epstein just continues doing what he was doing. And nobody does anything about it.
Yep.
For years. He was just going there to the prison for the weekend, spending the night and going out, and then just trafficking more girls. And
so Epstein, he was in 2008, he was able to get this sweetheart deal where he allowed Epstein to avoid federal sex trafficking charges and serve only 13 months in a county jail with work release, sparking ongoing scrutiny and recent congressional testimony.
And then what happens to Alex Acosta? He gets made Secretary of Labor by Donald Trump. And if you hear the tapes of Donald Trump talking about him, he did not want to fire him. He did not want to let him go. He was defending him up to the very end. He kept talking about, and he's Latino. I mean, it was really embarrassing, but he kept talking about what a great guy he is. Because he wanted to have...
so he ended up resigning. Trump didn't want him to.
Well, right. He didn't want him to, but there was a lot of pressure because of who he was and what he did for Jeffrey Epstein. But, I mean, when you think about it, all these people surrounding Donald Trump, he wanted to keep them close to him because he wanted to keep tabs on them. And their fate was intertwined with his fate. Yeah. So... It was a great situation for him, having these people around him that knew what he did but couldn't say anything because that would mean that their careers would be over.
If you like what you're hearing, please consider subscribing to TruBlu Politics Podcast on Patreon. At any level you can, it is so appreciated and so needed. Anita and I would love to be able to increase the frequency of episodes. We would like to upgrade equipment to make these podcasts even higher quality. But, we have day jobs. We can't do this without support from our loyal listeners and our TruBlu Crew Politics Podcast subscribers. And at any level, you will get additional content as well as be a part of our TruBlu Crew Podcast chat room, where we can interact with you all and hear back. Give us some feedback. Whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on, please consider giving us 4 stars, 5 stars, and a review. We love hearing from you, and we couldn't do it without you. So please consider subscribing. Buy me a coffee. Buy Anita a coffee. And keep the fight going. We are living through unprecedented times with attacks on our democracy and our rights. So we want to continue to be voices in the resistance and along with you, keep fighting the fight against this autocratic regime. Thanks, everybody. We love you. So congressional, just in September 2025, Acosta provided closed-door transcribed testimony to the House Oversight Committee as part of its ongoing investigation into the federal government's handling of the Epstein case. Transcripts released in October 2025 show Acosta standing by his decisions while committee Democrats accused him of showing no remorse and Republicans defended his actions.
I mean, think about that.
Guardians of pedophiles.
Yeah, the guardians of pedophiles. Don't forget it. That's what they are.
Yep.
And they voted to release them because their political life depended on it. They knew that there was so much pressure on them, and everybody was watching this. Everybody was paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then Donald Trump came out and said, oh, because he knew it was going to pass anyway, and he was going to be embarrassed.
Yep.
So he tells them, oh, yeah, I want them released. No, he doesn't. This was a huge embarrassment for him. And then little MAGA Mike was like, well, we're going to have to change some things. We're going to have to protect, like you said, the innocent. We don't want to make more victims, Karen.
And then he thought that he was, he was going to talk to Thune, and Thune was going to agree to, put in the different, yep.
That he would put those in, and guess what? Schumer, as much as everybody likes to bash him, it was him who put it up there for a what do you call that?
The consent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a name for it.
Yeah.
Can't believe I don't remember. Unanimous consent.
Unanimous consent, yeah.
Unanimous consent where nobody really votes. It's just passed.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that there was no amendments added to it. It wasn't changed at all, because if it would have been changed, and by the way, MAGA Mike could have been working on those changes that he wanted before. When he screwed up so bad, because this was under Donald Trump's orders. It was a fucking moron. Remember that. This is what saves us. He's a fucking moron, and these people are incompetent idiots. Adelina Grijalvo, if he would have sworn her in way back, then he could have been making those changes, right? If he would have put it up to a vote back then, he could have himself done it and made those kind of changes so that he could make sure that Donald Trump wasn't exposed.
But now?
Any reaction to Leader Thune seeing the bill without adding amendments or changing it?
I'm deeply disappointed in this outcome. I think I've been at the state dinner. I don't know. I was just told that Chuck Schumer rushed it to the floor and put it out there preemptively. It needed amendments. I just spoke to the president about that. We'll see what happens.
So do you think he may veto it? You say you spoke to the president?
I'm not saying that.
Is he supportive of it in its current form?
We both have concerns about it, so we'll see. I was standing there with the Crown Prince. We couldn't talk.
Are you frustrated in the majority leader? Are you upset with the majority leader?
Oh, yeah. Like,
it was another part where
the survivors, he
doesn't care about them. He keeps talking about, we need to redact the victims' names. That's already done, okay? That's already provided for.
Yes, exactly. It's such a joke. And I mean, the fact that it's like, you guys are the ones, like they keep bringing up the Democrats. The Democrats didn't bring this stuff up. They ran on it. They ran on. And as a matter of fact, and you pointed it out when there was one of the survivors who said that she voted for Donald Trump because he said that he was going to release the files.
That's what they ran on. I mean, there were so many, they were talking about this. Those, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, those two, they had podcasts devoted to talking about the Epstein files. Those guys now head the FBI, okay? And then once again, Donald Trump trying to keep those guys close to him.
Sure did.
So, I mean, when Donald Trump was interviewed on Fox News, what did they ask him? They asked him about releasing the Epstein files, releasing the JFK files, releasing the Martin Luther King files, and then releasing the Epstein files, because that was important. That was important. This is a load-bearing, not policy, promise. In other words, this isn't everything. I mean, we care about the economy and everything like this, but hearing him, the way he's behaved, The way he can, it's so obvious that he's hiding something. That MAGA, a good portion of MAGA has lost trust in him because they believed everything he said. And this is so obvious to them because they truly believed, they really wanted this exposed. They believed in him, that he was going to expose this cabal of Democrats who are running the world basically and having a financing it with a child trafficking ring.
Right.
And
and it's all about projection again.
It once again it is. And
you know, let me just say, so here's the house of cards that Trump and MAGA and the Republicans built. And the Epstein files are the load-bearing wall in that house of cards.
Load-bearing wall. Yes, right.
And when that comes down, the whole house of cards is going to fall down.
Yeah.
That's what I think that we're exactly gearing up towards.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what I mean, because now you see it now with these people, and they always mention the Epstein files. They'll talk about tariffs and the economy and all this. They do mention the Epstein files. A lot of times that's the first thing. They say that was the first time I started thinking, you know, I can't trust him. And so once they wake up, and let me relate this phone call I heard from this guy that Ron Filipkowski, I think it was on his show, and somebody called in. He said he was a triple Trumper. I told you the story, Karen. And he starts talking about how, you know, he voted for him the first time. He just took his chances. The second time, he thought, you know, he thought it was pretty good, except for COVID. And like Donald Trump got a lot of got away with a lot because of COVID. They just blamed everything on COVID. And then in 2024, like a lot of stupid people, they believed that, oh, wow, the economy was fantastic in pre-COVID. Well, that was Obama's economy. But we'll
exactly.
Leave that out of it. But
except for the 25% tariffs that Trump.
It was already going downhill. But COVID hit and everything got blamed on COVID. So anyway.
But everybody's 401k was so good.
Oh, yeah, it was so good. So, there was the stock market crash.
Yeah.
There's always stock market crashes with
but that's what I always heard the Trumpers.
Yeah.
Oh, but everybody's so
my
happy
401k.
with their 401k.
Yeah. Well, their 401k did really well with Biden too, and very, very well with Obama. So they just used that as an excuse to vote for him. But anyway, so he talks about that, and he says, I remembered it, and I just thought, you know, I want to go back to that. And so he voted for him and excused all the garbage, the trying to overthrow the government and all the felonies and the adjudicated rape when he was found liable for rape. I guess he just excused all that and decided he was going to vote for him because he wanted 2019 back. And he said, you know, now he can't even listen to him. It started with the Epstein thing, but now it's the tariffs, it's all of it. And he can't even listen to it because he just doesn't trust him anymore.
Yeah.
Or anybody that works for him.
No.
You know, and he talked about his office. All of them voted for Trump, but now none of them can stand listening to him or his family. So that's what's happening. That's why his approval is down to, in some polls, 33%. 33 to 39%.
Yeah, so his base in all of America are saying, quiet, piggy.
Quiet, piggy. Yeah. Remember that at Thanksgiving. When some, you know, your drunk uncle says something, quiet, piggy.
Quiet, piggy.
Quiet, piggy.
But drunk uncle.
Well, whoever you have in your family that starts spouting.
Exactly. When they start talking. Oh my God, that's fantastic. I'm going to do it. You know, I'll do it.
I'm going to do it too. I am. I'm going to do it to my brother-in-law. Quiet, piggy.
Quiet, piggy. But you have to do the quiet, piggy.
Quiet, piggy. I'm definitely going to do it.
I think so.
So anyway, you know that he's losing some of his base. He's not. There's some hardcore those people, but I always talk about how when everything was going down with George W. Bush, you know, we had the financial crash and then the Iraq war and all these other stuff. It was just a disaster, right? And I remember hearing, oh, he's got a 35% approval rating. And I'm like, who the hell are those people? Even after Watergate, okay? Richard Nixon had like a 35% approval rating. There is a base in the Republican Party that just, they there's just no, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone. They just will not accept reality. They vote for other reasons. And
Yep.
they don't give a crap what else happens.
Yep. No, exactly. And I mean, and so the next tactic is they're going to try and, do some wag the dog type of things because, this is all happening in his, favorability.
It's
What
so
was the
low.
polling? Yeah, what was the polling on it? Hold on, let me. You
It was
sent it to me.
39 in Fox, 38 in Mirrors.
Yeah. So Fox News has him 60% disapproval.
Yep. That's worse than he was during COVID.
Yeah. And of course, and then what do they do so that, Labor Department won't release full October jobs report?
No, I know, because we know it's bad. It's bad. Because if it was good, they'd be releasing it and bragging about it and it would be everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's really bad. That's how bad it is. They won't even release it.
Yep.
So, I mean, things are going bad. It's just obvious. Everybody's saying he's a lame duck now, which is pretty remarkable, not even finishing your first year as a lame duck. Your first, so that's pretty remarkable. But I think it's worse than that. I think I just think that he's been exposed.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
And that, so hopefully, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. When we say lame duck, I think about it. He's literally, it seems like a lame duck. He's walking around lame.
I don't know why we got to do that to
lame Donald Duck.
Yeah, I don't know why we got to do that to the, to the ducks. He's just lame.
A lame Donald.
Mm-hmm. He's a lame piggy.
Yeah. He is a little piggy. Gavin Newsom also put that. He goes, sleep well, piggy, and it's Donald Trump's face on a pig.
Yes, I have an idea for a protest sign.
I bet you do. It involves a pig and Donald Trump.
And Donald Trump and the Statue of Liberty.
I think we're going to see a lot of those inflatables, only they're going to be pigs.
Yep.
People in North Carolina, listen up.
Piggy Trump.
Yeah, Piggy Trump. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But what else? Oh, the Venezuela thing. You brought it up about wagging the dog.
Yeah. Yep.
What did you tell you? You were telling me you heard this.
Yep. So U.S. B-52 and B-1 bombers flew missions in the Caribbean Sea near Venezuela in October 2025. Purpose: the U.S. government described the flights as demonstration missions and shows of force. They are intended to pressure the Maduro government as part of a broader increase in U.S. military activity in the region.
No, they want regime change.
Yeah.
They want to replace him. Not that he's a good guy.
Tulsi.
Yeah, where are you, Tulsi? Where are you, Tulsi? By the way,
where are you?
I mean,
where the fuck has she been?
She's such a fraud. She's hiding. She also tweeted out something about how embarrassing it was to see a president sucking up to Saudi Arabia. That was in 2019.
Yeah.
And here he was just yesterday. She had nothing to say. And that's what he was doing, sucking up to him because Saudi Arabia is investing in his family's companies. Mm-hmm. That's what that was all about. That wasn't about America. Yeah. Well, we're gonna end up we're going to war with Venezuela. That's probably going to happen. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the peace president, who is also talking about how he's been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize because of what he's going to do for Ukraine and Russia. And it turns out his plan is for Ukraine to surrender.
Yeah.
That's the peace plan. Well, no, that he wants to give up, for Ukraine to give up land that is not occupied right now by Russia. They didn't even win.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, in Gaza, what he wants to do there.
He wants to take over and make it into the Riviera of the Middle East. Mm-hmm. And then put them in and put the Palestinians in these basically Warsaw ghetto type places.
Exactly. Yeah. A complete rubble.
Yeah. Like a Warsaw ghetto. That's basically what he wants because they don't care. They don't care if these people die.
Yeah, so basically the red zone and green zone in Gaza are terms used in a controversial recent U.S. military plan for the territory's long-term division, not official administrative areas. The plan envisions a Gaza divided by a yellow line, the current Israeli-controlled line, into two distinct parts. Green zone, this area would be under Israeli and international military control, where reconstruction efforts would start. Red zone, this zone would encompass the area where the majority of the Palestinian population has been displaced and which would initially be left in ruins with no planned reconstruction.
And there's going to be a peace panel or a peace.
Yeah, U.S. hopes to secure a UN mandate for a 20,000 strong international stabilization force to operate in the green zone, but securing commitments from other nations has been difficult.
Yeah, I wonder why. And also, Donald Trump is supposed to be chairing this peace committee. This sounds very much like it was thought up by Jared Kushner. Because remember, he was giving that lecture about what they would do with Gaza, turn it into beachfront property.
Yeah. I mean, he secured deals already, development deals.
Yep. I mean, J.D. Vance let the cat out of the bag. He said Jared Kushner was in charge of this.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's just so obvious. So, I mean,
yeah.
This is just, the whole peace thing is such a farce.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there are plans to invade Mexico, to bomb Mexico, because he wants to go after the cartels, he says.
Yeah, of course.
Meanwhile, peace sending people over
global peace.
Yeah.
War on drugs 2.0.
He's sending, and you know this because you know this from somebody that you met over there at the detention facilities, he's sending people over across the bridge to Mexico where they're being kidnapped by cartel and then held for ransom.
And then, the family members that are still in the U.S. are being contacted by them to send money. Yeah. And they're like, we have no money.
Have any money.
We have no money.
You're Americans. You're supposed to have money.
But, thankfully in this situation, they let him go, this person go.
Yeah, that is. But I mean, really, that's what they're doing.
Right.
That's what they're doing. They're just sending people across bridges back to go to Mexico. Sometimes they haven't been there since they were children.
Mm-hmm.
And they were brought here, or they've been here for like 20 years. I don't know how long this person had been here, but there have been all kinds of and tell everybody about what happened in Chicago, where they had to release 600 people.
Okay, so all right. So a federal court has temporarily blocked the release of over 600 detainees. This is ordered to be freed following arrest during a Chicago area immigration week. The initial order issued by a lower court was for the release of up to 615 people arrested between June and October. However, an appeals court granted a temporary stay. Oh, great. On the order to review the government's appeal, so the release is currently blocked.
But they have no criminal records.
But this is so this is a thing of the people of these detainees, 0.02% of them had any criminal records.
It's all bullshit.
And the apartment building that they raided, had Black Hawk helicopters, people, children rappelling down, children,
zip ties,
elderly people in zip
naked
ties.
Yeah.
And they sorted them racially.
Oh, yeah. And they tore up their building.
Yes.
They ransacked it and basically left it in ruins.
Mm-hmm.
And they came down like they were in Fallujah.
Yep. Exactly. So, so you have that. And, then we're talking about the National Guard, and now they're, in North Carolina, and North Carolina is picking up the mantle, and
they're running with it.
They're running with it.
Yeah, yep. They're using these tactics that you used in Chicago, and some of them that they used in Portland. Mm-hmm. And what was it? I heard that there was that Fox reporter, and she was like, "Oh, there's so much chaos," or something like that. That it was basically like a war zone, and there's like a frog and a unicorn dancing behind her.
Oh my God, it was so fantastic.
Yeah, it doesn't look. I mean, it's so silly. This has all been a lie. Okay, Portland, Chicago, L.A.
Mm-hmm.
Now in Charlotte and all these places in North Carolina. It's all a lie. They're doing it so that they can put out these stupid little films propaganda films.
It's
to show
all
how tough they are.
political theater.
It's all theater. Yeah,
Christy Nome, Bavino, all of them. They have, and it's so obvious that this is all for show.
I mean, look at what happened. They come down like it's Fallujah on these apartments and these Black Hawk helicopters and everything, and then they don't they zip tie all these children, throw them out naked like they're in a war zone, and then in the end, none of them are ever charged with anything.
Mm-mm.
They said they were coming for Trinidad. There was no Trinidad.
There was nobody. I mean, because if there was, they would have had names and all over the place. And they can't even, do the Abrego Garcia thing where they, you know what I mean? Like,
well, they got in trouble, a little bit of trouble.
They got a little bit of trouble. So, we better not do that.
Quiet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if they had real criminals, I mean, violent criminals like they're always talking about, they would be parading those guys out in the public, talking about the charges against them, showing their names, showing their faces. They don't do that. Instead, they show this footage of the grainy footage of them in chains, right? Or they're smashing windows and throwing them on the ground like they're these violent criminals they have to get. Yeah. It's all bullshit.
It's all theater. It's all political theater. And I can't even imagine, and I hope there are the lawsuits that are going to be coming down.
Yeah.
Again, those
apartments should sue him. I mean, sue the government for what they went through. The people in those apartments, those poor kids that were thrown out in the middle of the night naked.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this is the thing. I wonder, and I mean, so I wonder, it's like, okay, so they sue the federal government. And then when we get back in charge, then we go after, we freeze all of the assets.
Yeah.
To get them, recoup some of the money.
Make them whole somewhat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because, of course, they sue the government and that's our money too.
Then we get it from the people that perpetuated these crimes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And once we put them to it,
Right.
And fine them and jail them.
Mm-hmm.
From the top down.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and with all of this then too, the question of, the National Guard and the members of the military in the event that, Donald Trump illegally enacts, the Insurrection Act or, tells or gives orders, illegal orders. So
let's talk about that.
Yes, there was a great video that you sent over and I'm just going to play it and then we can talk about it on the other side.
Let me introduce it.
Go ahead.
I think there's 4 Democrats. I know it's Mark Kelly. Can you name the other ones?
I can't we can name them after.
Okay.
Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
Like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard
and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Okay. So Donald Trump's reaction This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up. President DJT.
Seditious, yeah. They're telling them not to follow illegal orders. So what he's admitting to is that he's going to give illegal orders.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And everybody, and I'm seeing the MAGA, especially on Twitter,
mm-hmm.
That's what they're saying. Oh, how dare they? How dare they tell the military personnel they should not follow the commander-in-chief's orders? That's not what they're saying.
These people are veterans.
They're veterans, and they're telling them you don't have to follow illegal orders. Well, yeah, and sometimes maybe they need to be reminded of it these days.
Apparently, yeah.
Because,
I mean, and I will say this though. I mean, with everything that's gone on, in LA. We saw it in LA
with
Portland,
the Marines. Yeah.
With the Marines. And then of course here, with the National Guard, and they actually, they never, they were kind of just in a holding pattern.
Mm-hmm.
But, I wasn't worried. I'll be honest. I wasn't worried about them because they swore oaths to the Constitution to defend and protect the Constitution.
They're not wearing masks.
And they're not wearing, they are easily identified.
Mm-hmm.
They are not wearing masks, unlike the masked ICE agents, the people who I am sure that when all of this comes out and there is accountability, we are going to find out that there were a number of them that were January 6th insurrectionists. There were Proud Boys, Oath Keepers.
Yeah.
These are the worst
military
of the worst.
Rejects.
Yes.
Rejects. Although
Totally.
I'm wondering at why they're doing it right now, and I wonder if it has anything to do with the Venezuelan bombings.
That could be. You know what?
Yeah.
That could be. Yeah, that's a great point.
So it might not be domestic because, honestly, these guys, it's almost like when they're put there because they complain about it, they don't want to be sent to Los Angeles. They don't want to be sent to Chicago. They don't want to be sent to Portland. They sit around there. They're picking up trash. They're cleaning the wall, the graffiti. That's what they're doing. And and I mean, we're paying them to pick up garbage, and they don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, if you listen to what they're saying, when I've heard some people talking to them, they're not happy being there.
No.
That's not what they're trained to do. They're not trained for domestic, I don't know, battle. I mean, what do they want them to do? Arrest people? They're not. That's not what they do. They're trained for war. Yeah. With foreign enemies.
Yes.
Not
U.S.
other Americans.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking it might be because what he's doing in Venezuela is illegal.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, there's reporting that some of these people that work on this program, I guess, that's going on with the bombings of these fishing boats, have contacted not-for-profit legal organizations for advice because they're scared that they're going to get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and it's kind of late because they're asking after the fact. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he fired the ethics, the committees that give advice to military about what's legal and not legal, the JAG officers. So, I mean, it's just a dangerous situation.
It sure is.
And that's why maybe they need to be reminded because there is nobody else to remind them. Because Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth got rid of them.
They're criminal. They're complete criminals.
They're criminals, and the people to tell them that those are criminal acts are gone.
Are gone. Exactly. Yeah. So we're kind of gonna, be wrapping this up in a few minutes, but one thing I did want to talk about really quickly, because this is something that is, I'm sure, underreported. I think that they're deliberately not reporting this, but you had shared with me this story that was in the Texas Tribune, November 27th, 2024.
Okay, well, I don't know the timeline exactly, but this woman who had a very difficult pregnancy was telling them, maybe, asking about getting an abortion, and the doctors were telling her, no, she could not hear, and nobody could help her. And she had to carry this baby, and her son ended up finding her laying across the bed, gone. She was dead because the pregnancy killed her. I think she had a aneurysm or something. I'm not sure. But it's not just her.
Well, this story that you sent me, this was a third woman who had died. And this was actually back in June 11th. So over the course of 6 hours on June 11th, 2023, Portia Negumezi had bled so much in the emergency department at Houston.
Okay, this is a different one. Yeah,
so this is a different one.
Yeah.
So over the course of 6 hours in June 11th, 2023, Portia Negumezi had bled so much in the emergency department at Houston Methodist Sugarland that she needed 2 transfusions. She was anxious to get home to her young sons, but according to a nurse's notes, she was still passing large clots the size of grapefruit. And so apparently what happens is, when women normally will, when they miscarry, there will be what's called a DNC, which surgically is an abortion.
That's right.
So what they are doing, these doctors are having to do, and now this is an older story, so understandably, but this is the kind of thing that women in Texas and the states where Roe v. Wade has been overturned are having to deal with, and the losses that families are having. So what ends up happening, because these doctors are fearful of being prosecuted, and what is it, like up to 99 years you could
99
receive?
years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what's happening is they're being given medication that is supposed to expel the
which they want to ban,
tissues, which they want to ban. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So this is ongoing. I think it's something that, and I think it's a good reminder to keep talking about these stories, right? Yep. Which is exactly right. These are important stories to keep talking about, because with everything, with the Epstein files, and it is important. I mean, that is an important story as well, because again, it is the absolute war on women.
It is so scary. It's really scary here.
Yeah. And the fact that this is still ongoing, and it's not front page news anymore. It's not the thing that people are talking about, because there are all these other things that we're having thrown at us. But this is a reminder to everybody that this is still happening in our country.
It is still happening, and I worry about it all the time, because I have a daughter of childbearing age, okay? She has a boyfriend right now. She's talked to me about how she wants to have children, but honestly, I've told her, I don't want you to be pregnant in the state of Texas. Mm-hmm. But what her options, honestly, she could probably leave the state if something were to happen, something bad. Although, I don't know, Ken Paxton may try to stop her, like he did with that the other woman from Texas, remember?
Yeah.
That was big news. But, but there are a lot of people that they have no choice but to stay here.
Yeah.
They don't have an option to fly off to another state and get help. And so these women are dying. They are dying, or they're just having very traumatic experiences.
Because the drugs that, the drug that they're given, and so it's misoprostol at 11 weeks is not enough. This is what the drug was, misoprostol. At 11 weeks is not going to work fast enough, said a Dr. Amber Trueheart, an OBGYN at the University of New Mexico. Right. And so, so then what ends up happening is they go septic, because when that tissue is, is not expelled, that's what happens. And so this woman died because of it. So it's just, and this, again, this is something that it is not about, it is not, the pro-life, and the fact, and like you've said a million times, when you say, unless, rape or incest, then it gives the game away. It's not about life.
No, it's not about life, because what was the difference if it's conceived in rape or incest? if they really believe this is about life. What it really is about is controlling the women. Oh, well, if it's not incest or rape, then you didn't voluntarily have sex. So, okay. I mean, it's just disgusting, really. The rape and incest and exceptions are disgusting. Either, you know what, either we have control over our own bodies or we don't.
Exactly right. And now women, millions of American women do not have autonomy and control over their own bodies and their own health care, because that's what it is. It comes down to, it is health care.
And I told you, I talked to one of my neighbors here, very much a Republican, you can tell, because she didn't she likes Greg Abbott. But, and she was saying, she believes in, she's pro-choice. She didn't know what that meant, but she liked it. Pro-choice, and she doesn't think anybody else has the business of telling women what they should do with their bodies. So it's an important thing, because we are the vast, most people believe that women should be making these decisions. And I even talked to her about it. I said, and she seemed to understand this, that we women don't, at 7 or 8 or 9 months pregnant, don't all of a sudden go, oh, no, I don't think I want to do this. I'm going to go have an abortion. When women have a late-term abortion, it's because something went terribly wrong.
Yes.
And it's a life-threatening situation. That's why you have an abortion at 7, 8, or 9 months, or even 6 months. Most abortions, the vast majority of them, happen within the first, 8 weeks, 12 weeks.
Well, and 60% of, the early abortions are medicinal.
Yeah.
So 60%. So, this isn't, it's just the narrative, the lie that they have been spreading about
Such a lie.
It's just, it is insidious. And, again, this is why our government should not be making medical decisions on behalf of Americans. This is why it needs to be left to the discretion between the person, anybody, whatever it is, and their doctor.
Now, it's not all medical decisions, but it's a medical decision that involves something so personal like your body, because, sometimes.
Sure. I mean, but, bottom line is, whether it's a cancer diagnosis, whatever, those decisions are left to be made between a doctor and their patient.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
Period.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
I mean,
Period.
there's plenty of situations where there's, cancer, and, a particular type of treatment is denied, and that's that,
I know somebody
not being forced.
That's right. I know somebody who had a really bad cancer, liver cancer, and refused to get any treatment. He decided he didn't want to go through that because he'd been through cancer treatment before. And so that was his decision.
And no government entity stepped in to
force him to get treatment. And that's the way it should be. And nobody's forcing anybody to get vaccinated or anything else. If you don't want to get vaccinated, fine. If private companies say, hey, we want you to be vaccinated to work here, that's their business. People need to understand that. So people still are whining about the fact this vaccine mandate. There never was a vaccine mandate.
No,
the military, except for the military, but the military has a vaccine mandate for all kinds of vaccines. Because they have to be
ready.
Yes, they have to be military ready. I mean, George Washington had the first vaccine. He used the first vaccine for smallpox. Yeah. And he had a mandate. He made all of his soldiers get vaccinated. And guess what? It saved a bunch of lives and helped him win the war.
That's right. That's right. So there you go.
There you go.
Stay the fuck out of people's business.
And our uterus.
Leave us alone.
Yes. Leave us alone. Seriously, these are the people that are always like, don't tread on me, right?
Right. Don't tread on me, man.
Don't tread on me.
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, well, great talking to you again, Anita.
Great talking to you too. We'll talk to you later, guys, in 2 weeks.
Okay. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.